Dear students, the topic we are going to start today is chemical species, in which you will study about ions. There are two types of ions, cations and anions. So let's get started. Chemical species. Ion. Ion is an atom or group of atoms having charge on it. So first thing that they are atom or group of atom. Done. The second thing is they contain charge. The third thing is the charge may be positive or negative. Okay, third thing is charge may be positive or negative. There are two types of ions. Positive one are known as cations. However, the negative are known as anions. An atom or group of atoms having positive charge on it is called cation. Done. The cations are formed when atom loses electrons. So, up till now, what you have studied is that ion is a group of atom or group of atoms. The second thing, they contain charge. The third thing, they may either be positive or negative. Positive are known as cations and negatives are known as anion. Now we will study about cations. Cations are formed when atoms lose electrons. So memorize that cations are formed when a neutral atom, you can see that the here atoms are given hydrogen, sodium, calcium. These atoms are neutral. How you can say that they are neutral? Because they neither contain positive nor negative charge on it. Whereas when neutral atom lose electron, means electron from its outer shell is removed, now it becomes positive. The atom become positive because electron is loose. By adding this electron into it, it will become neutral. डन. सोडियम की बात करो तो सोडियम में क्या है, इसने भी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज किया, इसलिए इसके ऊपर एक पॉजिटिव चार्ज आया. यू कैन सी डैट ओनली वन पॉजिटिव चार्ज. वेयर एज in the case of calcium, as it loses 2 electron, that's why calcium contain +2 charge, because it is losing 2 electrons. Done with it. Now let's take an example, more detail into that example. You can see that this is a hydrogen atom, neutral hydrogen atom. Why? Because one positive and one negative, both cancel out each other effects and they become neutral. But in the case of cations, what happen? This is a cations. What happen? That this electron from the outer shell is removed and it become totally positive because one electron is lost. Done. So similarly, in case of sodium, first take a glance at sodium atom. This is neutral. Now count its electron. Okay, as you can see that this one is the inner orbit. Okay, this one is the second orbit. इनर ऑर्बिट के अंदर 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन थे और आउटर के अंदर कितने थे, 8. और अब हम बात करते हैं लास्ट वन, इसके अंदर कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन है, 1. ओके, 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन. अब देखो तो टोटल कितने बन गए. बाय कैलकुलेटिंग यू विल गेट दैट 8 + 2 + 1 इट बिकम 11 इलेक्ट्रॉन. So to become a stable species, it have to lose 1 electron, and which electron it would going to lose is the outermost. In the outermost orbit, it must contain 8 electron. One, it already have 1, but it have to gain 7 electron to become neutral, to become stable. Sorry, but to gain 7 electron is very difficult. So what it would do? It will do that. It will lose that electron. This electron, it will lose this electron, and and now what happened, you can see here that the outer shell is removed. There is no electron in the outer shell, and it becomes stable. How? Because it contains 8 electron in the outermost. So the stability is to gain stability, the outermost orbit must contain 8 electron. So let's count here. In the case of sodium plus, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So at in the outermost there are 8 electrons, so it is stable. And to gain that stability, what it done that one electron is lost. So by losing one electron, it become Na positive. One other example. Now you are done. You have to do it. Okay. Now look, this one is the inner orbit, and how many electron? 2 electron. And the next one, how many electron? 8 electron. And the next one, 8 electron. If you count in this orbit, there are 8 electron. And at the last one, what you guess, how many electron must be there to become stable? It must contain, outermost orbit must contain 8 electron, but it contains only 2. So what should it do? It must gain 6 electron. कहीं से इसको 6 इलेक्ट्रॉन मिल जाएं, तो फिर कितने हो जाएंगे? 2 जमा 8, yes 8. But it is very difficult to gain 6 electrons. So what it will do? It will do that it will lose the outermost 2 electrons. Yes, this empty spaces, it means that it has lose 2 electrons. So now what it becomes? Calcium plus 2, because here there were it was neutral because 20 protons थे अंदर और 20 ही इलेक्ट्रॉन थे, जबकि यहाँ पे 20 प्रोटॉन है लेकिन 18 इलेक्ट्रॉन है। तो इसके ऊपर ज़ाहिर बात है पॉजिटिव ज़्यादा है, इसलिए इसके ऊपर ओवरऑल क्या चार्ज आ जाएगा? +2 चार्ज आएगा। इसलिए कैल्शियम के ऊपर हम क्या लिखते हैं? +2। और इसको 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज़ करने थे, क्योंकि 6 लेकर टोटल 8 नहीं था कर सकता। अब इसने क्या किया? या तो ले लेता है या दे देता है, इसलिए दे दिया है टू बिकम स्टेबल। इसने देने की वजह से 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन, इसके आउटर मोस्ट में कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन हो गए हैं? 8। हेयर यू कैन काउंट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 in the outermost. So this is all story of cations. Let's do it again. What cations contain positive charge, and how they achieve that positive charge? By losing electrons, and cations are always positive in charge. Okay, so let's talk about anion. An atom or group of atom that have negative charge on it. So नेगेटिव चार्ज अगर होगा तो वो क्या होंगे? एनाइन। एनाइन, अब नेगेटिव चार्ज कैसे आएगा? गेन करेंगे इलेक्ट्रॉन। एनाइन इज फॉर्म बाय गेन और एडिशन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन टू एटम। फॉर एग्जांपल Cl नेगेटिव एंड O2 नेगेटिव। सो ये क्यों, इनको क्या ज़रूरत है एनाइन बनने की? टू गेन, अगेन टू गेन स्टेबिलिटी। एक्चुअली में कैटाइन या एनाइन क्यों बनते हैं? वाई दे आर फॉर्म? बिकॉज टू गेट स्टेबिलिटी। Following examples show the formation. Okay, let's do its examples. Here you can see that by a chlorine atom gain 1 electron and it become Cl negative, and oxygen gain 2 electron and it will become 2 oxygen 2 negative. Here this example will explain in detail. Here you can see that chlorine atom, the innermost orbit contains 2 electron, the next one orbit contain 8 electron, and the last orbit contain 7 electron. You can count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 electrons in the outermost. So can you suggest that what this atom will do? Yes, the atom either या तो ये 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज़ कर दे तो इसका ये वाला ऑर्बिट तो ख़त्म हो जाएगा, तो फिर ये रह जाएगा 8 ऑर्बिट वाला. बट व्हाट इट विल डू टू लूज 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट, वेयर एज टू गेन 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन इज़ मच ईजियर. So what it will do, it will gain one electron. Here you can see that it gains one electron. 1 2 3 4 6 7 7 8, yes, 8 electron in the outermost, so it become chloride ion. So as it gain one electron, so it will become negative. Now let's talk about oxygen atom. If you talk about oxygen, you can see that in the inner orbit 2 electron, whereas in the outer orbit there are 6 electron. How many electron it need to become stable? Yes, it need 2 electron to become stable, and stability is related with attaining 8 electron in the outermost shell. So what can it do? Either it lose 6 electron, which is very difficult, whereas to accept 2 electron is very easy. Here you can see that in the inner orbit there are 2 electron, and it gained 2 electron, this one and this one. This electron and this electron is new one, so it become 8. As it gain 2 electrons, so anions are -2. Okay, now let's differentiate between atoms and ions. Atoms, it is the smallest particle of an element. एलिमेंट का सबसे छोटा पार्ट क्या कहलाता है? एटम. आयन, इट इज़ द स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट ऑफ एन आयनिक कंपाउंड. As you know that in NaCl, first one is positive and the later one is negative, so they form ionic compound. The next point, it can or cannot exist independently and can take part in chemical reaction, whereas in ions it cannot exist independently. ये independent exist नहीं कर सकता. Why not? Because it possess positive and or negative charge, and it become very difficult to exist independently. As they are charged, so it must be surrounded by opposite charges. As we talked about sodium, that sodium is Na positive, and it is surrounded with 6 negative ions. So here this point illustrate the same thing, that the each charge is further surrounded with ions. It is electrically neutral, whereas it has a net charge. It has a net charge. It has a net charge. Okay, it has a it has a net charge, either positive or negative. If negative, it will be anion, whereas in case of positive, it must be cation. So students, that's all for today. What you have to do is answer these quiz questions. An atom or group of atom having positive charge on it is called atom है या group of atom है, and it is containing positive charge. Then answer will be anion, cation, ions or molecule. The second one is the smallest particle of an ionic compound is atom, formula unit, ion or molecule. Students, you have to answer these questions. Okay.